I've done various videos on indigenous petroglyphs in the past, but today we're going to look at a unique, more historical and modern carvings that are out there in stone. Timber Adventures wants to thank you for joining us, and please like, share, and subscribe. So there are some fun petroglyphs that I've come across over the past couple years in my travels. And first we'll define it. Petroglyphs are defined as carving, etching, or scraping a design into a rock surface, leaving a carved design or image. A glyph. A glyph is defined as a visual character representation of a letter, symbol, or punctuation mark of writing. So, I'm coming off of a work project that I had with some archaeologists who have been a very intense program of recording Native American petroglyphs in the upper Ohio River Valley. And along the course of our travels, we came across some historical carvings that are quite funny and just different. Let's check out some of these unique designs. So we always have names and initials and dates, but let's look at Tony, 1988, because without failure, this guy's an idiot. This particular historical carving was done directly over top of a Native American petroglyph on Indian God Rock. Yeah, as late as 1988, which really isn't that long ago, this individual came up and carved his initials and date directly across a carving that was perhaps 1,500 years old. Like, really? Come on. Tony's carving is on Indian God Rock along the Allegheny River, and I want to note that he doesn't even have a unique style to his letters. It's just blunt and brutal and untalented. Now check out the M, C, and the R on this particular carving. It's a close-up. Really nice, as this was carved in the late 1800s. Far more crude carving implements required back then, yet vastly better than Tony. In comparison, we have WL, who has such beautiful, precise block letters carved in there, along with the date. Very impressive. These are found at Belder's Rocks near Grampian, Pennsylvania. Next up, I just took this pic in July of 2025, and to be fair, this was done by a business, probably back in the mid-1900s, and I would say that they do this for a living, and you can definitely tell. Very nice, very precise. Who do we have for animal carvings? Well, an owl. How about a cat's head? Oh dear, what else is there? There's a rooster, and I'll refrain from the pun on that one to keep it PG-13. Political commentary. I love this one. This probably dates to the mid-1930s, and yeah, they misspelled communist, but it's so nice to see that in the middle of the woods on a rock. I love Posey, or Rosie. Part may be gone. If things don't work out there, put a dagger in a heart carving. I definitely came across a heart at some point, but I could not find any pics in my collection. Or you could just block it out altogether and remove the saying. That's been done also. Let's look at Cornplanter rock. Cornplanter rock was a rock we examined, and it was a party. Everyone for the last 150 to 200 years has stopped there and left their mark. Obvious areas that show coring, but tons of historical carvings. Names, initials, dates, a coal face, stairs cut into the one side of the stone to climb up. I mean, this is an enormous set of stones too. Cornplanter had no Native American carvings that we could find, and we did examine it pretty closely. Interestingly enough, it's the only location that we ran across a rattlesnake. Cornplanter does have some indigenous legends in its history, and I covered those in a prior video. Did run across several common names that carry over from one rock to another. You may find it again downstream or upstream. These are probably journeymen, rafters, loggers, quarry workers. They take a time out and carve their name while they're sitting there resting. Of course, we have the odd designs also. The flying ace Snoopy, an alien head, strange abstract designs that are very confusing. Maybe they're made by the aliens. Let's look at something that's not alien. The frequency of some designs. Every area has an Indian rock, and that rock sometimes has a Native American head carved. 99% are modern or historical carvings, not of indigenous origin. Also frequently, axes and hatchets. Very frequent to see these. I've also come across lots of stars. Masonic symbols are common. Always hands. Just about every rock, even Native American petroglyphs, have hands too. How about a benchmark carved directly in a stone? Let's look at Indian God Rock one last time. It's on the Allegheny River and it contains just about every modern and historical carving and initials that you can think of. It's now protected, but sadly, you'll still find dates as late as 2019 on there. Belger's Rocks in Pennsylvania is another site to see historical carvings. The most prominent is not the oldest one there, but it's the largest, and it reads, "The world as it appeared in 1921, with a worldwide globe carved." Fun fact, Belger's has a sign attached to the stone below the large carving talking about the carver and his history. That sign actually covers a carving much older than the world above. We also have religious carvings, from the Christian fish symbol to holy crosses to Jesus Saves. There are so many additional carvings and some are a mystery. What's not a mystery is the human element where people want to leave their mark, with script written names and some very old European script that may date back to the early years on the Allegheny River. We're looking at about the late 1700s. In the end, people will always try to leave their mark and their own individual timestamp. Currently thinking about throwing together a video on graffiti that I've come across. Modern pictographs, if you will. It should be very fun. And thank you once again for watching.